Hi, I'm Marsh from StrataGames, and today we're playing some Gruul Monster Tron. So, Monster Tron's a deck that obviously plays your Tron lands to get a ton of mana, and then instead of comboing off or anything in any various ways, we're just going to be playing ginormous creatures. So, Maelstrom Colossus is our most expensive one, 7/7 that just cascades. Really good card that can cascade into many 7-drops that we have. Bramble Worm, Boulder Branch Golem are both ways to gain life, which is a nice way to survive against the burn decks. Pinnacle Killship is a removal spell, and then Wretched Griff just draws you another card, which is pretty nice. We are also playing Generous Ents, more life gain, and of course these could just be forests or a wooded ridgeline. The red splash is for Breath Weapon, so that we can also clear any of those go-wide decks. Ancient Stirrings and Crop Rotation can help fix our mana, or Ancient Stirrings can also just grab one of our big creatures from the top 5 cards of our deck. We're playing Candy Trail and Expedition Map. These can also help us find lands or other cards we're looking for. A couple relics in the main deck, because graveyards are pretty prevalent. We have a Bojuka Bog, which is just nice utility and can be used at instant speed with a crop rotation to exile your opponent's graveyard. A couple Crystal Grottos to scry and make mana of any color. This, of course, can make you green or your red, or it could even make blue, theoretically, if we needed to merge a Wretched Griff or something. And that looks like it. From the sideboard, we're playing a Carevex Torch, which is harder to counter. It's basically got Ward 2. A couple Reverent Silence, if we're against Bogles, to destroy all enchantments. Monstrous Emergence. This is a very interesting sideboard. A couple Moment's Peace, Deglamour, Tamiyo Safekeeping, a Whisper Silk Cloak, and a couple more Relics of Progenitus. So let's just take this for League and see how we do. Thanks to Card Market for sponsoring this video. You can now pick up my comprehensive guide to Esper Cryo Affinity, including 38 sideboard matchups, and I just put out a big update for my Black Sack guide, including a slightly different deck list. I began offering coaching sessions if you're interested in taking your Pauper game to the next level, and I'm accepting deck donations, so if you desperately want me to play a deck that I usually wouldn't play, something like Elves, then you can make me do that for a small fee. I've started posting a League video every single day, not to mention streaming at least a couple times a week on Twitch, but I'm not going to be able to keep that up forever unless I can get a little bit more help from the community. Any of the ways I've just mentioned are great ways to help me out, or you can even subscribe and support me on a monthly basis. Alright, on the play here, and we have Forest, Power Plant, Expedition Map. Generous Ents can find more lands. We don't have Tron. We have 2 pieces of it. We're on the play. I guess we'll give it a try. Like, if we get to Tron, we have a lot of creatures we can play, which is pretty good. It might be worth holding the map, cracking the map until we draw one of our other lands, so we know what to fetch for, because if I fetch for a mine now and then we draw a mine, it's not as good. But we'll see. We're against some Black Sack. Always love to see it. Okay, we get another map, so in that case, we're just going to play a forest, we're going to crack this map, then next turn I can crack the second map, and we'll have a turn 4 Tron, which is not bad. I think I've played Black Sack against Monster Tron at least once, and it felt pretty bad as the Black Sack player, because we just have enormous creatures, the life gain is not irrelevant, and Killship can also just take out some creatures, so this might not be a bad matchup for us. They swing for 1 and play a Beetle. Also, if I just get a Breath Weapon right now, it'd be pretty good, although I don't have the red mana, so maybe not. We're going to pull out a Tower. Well, we did get the Breath Weapon. I could cycle a Generous Ent for the red mana, but then they probably have a way to sack. I don't think that's the way to do it. I think we just play this and play the map and pass. And then we just start slamming giant creatures next turn. We're going to take 3 here, unless they have a stamina. But no, just 3. Another Beetle, sadistically on the Shambler. They are 1 Carrion Feeder away from really popping off. We're going to pull out the Mine, Bramble Worm. So we play this, and we just play Killship. Killship doesn't... I mean, it kills something, but it doesn't block. It also just grows this, so I'm taking the same amount of damage. So I might just Bramble Worm and use the extra mana to cycle this for the red land. Yeah, I think that's what we do. So Bramble Worm's going to gain us life. We're going to cycle a Generous Ent for the wooded ridgeline. We're still 2 turns away from Breath Weaponing them, but we just have a blocker, so it's kind of hard for them to attack. And Bramble Worm is so good. It is really strong. Oh, that's pretty good from them, actually. That's really good for them. A Cursed Marauder, we have to sack the Bramble Worm. It does have an ability from the graveyard where you can gain 5 more life, but this is also going to grow all 3 of these by 2, which means the Breath Weapon is no longer going to work. guess kill ship would have made it so that wouldn't have worked, but couldn't have known. We can still just kill ship a beetle. Marauder's so good. It is. Oh, we do get the Crystal Grotto, so that could let us Breath Weapon now. But if anything, I probably want to like kill ship the Shambler and Breath Weapon it in the same turn. I think we're just casting a Boulder Branch Golem. And then playing the Ridgeline. And then next turn, if I want, I could kill ship and Breath Weapon in the same turn. I mean, here's hoping they don't have another Marauder, obviously. They just swing with the team. So I'll block here. We take, assuming they don't have anything, we are taking like 9. Certainly not blocking this where they could like stamina it. If they stamina the beetle, it's not the end of the world. They trade and it does come back. They have 1 card in hand. We get a tower. So I can play kill ship. Tower doesn't give us mana that we can use on anything we don't already have. So I think I'm just going to Crystal Grotto. We don't need another land. Kill ship doesn't block, but it does kill their Shambler. And then we're going to Breath Weapon in their upkeep. And if Breath Weapon goes off, then we might be okay. Alright, we're not dead. And they just drew a swamp here, so they attack for 3. But now we can gain life with the Generous Ent and the Bramble Worm. Crop rotation. Play a Generous Ent. And just pass. They get a Link Breaker. And we're gonna exile Brambleworm from the grave. We're gonna crack a food token, so we're back up to 14. I could also crop rotation right now, but I think it makes sense to save it for potentially a Bojuka Bog at instant speed. Boulder Branch Golem. That's pretty good. So we're gonna cast that. We go back up to 20. This is why this deck's crazy. You can just go back up to 20, why not? And then I'm going to station this with both of these guys. And I can just attack for 7 because there's no way they can deal us 20. So, yeah. It gains so much life. Like, 12 of the big creatures gain life. And then Maelstrom Colossus also, cascades into them. So, yeah, it's a ton. They're going to swing for 4, leave back a couple chump blockers. We just get a power plant, but we can swing with everything. They got a couple chump blocks. Just 1, actually. They'll go to 1 life here. We'll play a power plant and pass. Not sure what they could get here that would keep them alive. That was a close one, but we ended up bouncing back pretty well. Let's see. Monstrous Emergence seems good. We have some targeted removal for their bigger guys. I mean, I can have a 7/7 to deal damage, so even if they're pretty big, that's fine. I don't care too much about their graveyard. Breath Weapon, probably worth keeping in. It's not always the best against them, but it was really good there. Kill ship's definitely great. Yeah, I don't think I need Moment's Peace. Moment's Peace could be good actually against Vampire. Then I'm cutting something. Maybe a couple Wretched Griffs. Maybe one of the Breath Weapons because they're not always good. We ended up switching decks, so this is actually the deck we're playing right now. Here we have Natural Tron, so I think we keep it. We also have Generous Ent for green if we wanted. They start with a Carrion Feeder. Breath Weapon. Probably cycle this for green-red. Where's my Jund boy? Well, we swapped over to a Gruul deck that is, believe it or not playing Writhing Chrysalis. Those are all pretty good cards. We're going to cycle this. Playing Gruul Monster Tron. Here, I'm updating the title so no one can get mad at me. I'm not even sure I want to play the Ridgeline though, because that takes me off. Just a turn 3 Tron. Does give me a turn 3 Breath Weapon though, although they play any fodder creature and suddenly the Breath Weapon's totally useless. I could have just gotten a Forest, I guess, and then I could have like crop rotationed into colored mana, or even into still the turn 3 Tron. I don't know, that would have made a difference. I think we're just playing a mine and passing. If the Breath Weapon was going to be amazing, I would go for that, but it's just not looking that way. Unless they have no fodder in hand, which maybe they don't, but then we're already in a pretty good spot, I think. They don't play anything pre-combat. That is a good sign. Well, we just play a plant and play Boulder Branch Golem. Came here from YouTube. Hate Tron. I think it's a mistake of game design. I mean, this is the first time probably anyone's seen me play Tron, because it's not generally my favorite either. But I hate it less when we're not using it for combo stuff. But it's, you know, it's not always a deck I play, but you know, I try to branch out a little bit, so I try to boulder branch out sometimes, you know what I mean? Alright, they did have to corrupt a conviction, a carrion feeder, grew the beetle. They did now find a bunch of sages and a marauder. Okay, good for them. Not getting just a forest is going to hurt us, because unless I get an untapped land of some other kind, I can't play this Colossus. In fact, I can't play anything this turn, which could be pretty bad. This is where the opponent gives a sigh and thinks, must be nice. Yeah. I mean, I'm the one dying here. Like, I have nothing I can play, because I apparently got the wrong land off this Genercent. I'm not dead this turn, but I'm dead next turn, I think. This is 9. Yeah, make it 11, and then, yep. So we need to hit a untapped land. Forest would let us play a Brambleworm. Anything would let us play a Colossus. Chukabog does not let us play anything. Yeah, I guess I should have gotten just a forest. And I had the crop rotation if I really desperately needed to get the red for the breath weapon, so that would have kept my options open. That's okay. Always love to see Black Sack doing its thing. And we have a fine hand. We have 2 of our 3 Tron pieces. Candy Trails to try to find the tower. Colossus and a map. Map finds the tower. And another Colossus seems decent. Sure, we'll keep them both. They start with the beetle. So we will... I could either play Candy Trail and we waste a little bit of the scry, or I cycle a Genercent if I don't want the other Colossus. I think we'll just play the Candy Trail. Whisper Silk Cloak in the sideboard against what kind of decks? That's a great question. I did not build the deck list, so I'm not 100% sure. Double Colossus. I don't think we need 3. We'll keep 1. Yeah, I don't know. I would assume maybe like a Walls or Spy or something that just has like infinite jump blockers. I assume it's for the unblockable a lot more than the Shroud, but I'm not 100% sure. They swing for 2. Gonna crack this for a tower, play that, and I guess we might as well crack one of these right now in case we get like another one or something. And if not, I'll just cycle this for a forest. Next turn we can start dropping Colossuses. They've not had anywhere near as fast of a start this time, so I think I'm going to be okay, but never know. Looks like they might be going for another draw too. They are. Maybe against Jund and other decks with great number of removal spells. Yeah, it could be. It feels like you kind of just flood the board with a lot of guys in those. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, so if they kill 1, it's not a big deal to have another. But then if they have to use, like, Toxin Analysis, Krark to wipe it, maybe that's not bad. Not 100% sure. We are going to spin the wheel, see if we get anything good. Breath Weapon's not bad. It kills a beetle here, which they have a lot of draw twos, it looks like. So they're going to just sack it, but that's not a terrible outcome either. They've kept a lot of cards in hand, but just 1 4/4 on the battlefield. If they have a Marauder, which they've had every game, yep, they're going to grow the beetle more. There's a Shambler, swing for 6 every time. Yeah, I was hoping to hit a creature with this for many reasons. Jukabog. Well, we're going to do it again and hope we hit a creature and also, or like the one that deals 10 damage. Kill Ship. Kill Ship's pretty good. To blow up the beetle. Stamina it, sure. I was about to Bajukabog, but I cannot do it at instant speed here. But that's fine. Beetle's a lot smaller, a lot easier to deal with. Oh, and I almost didn't do this, but I should absolutely station this right away. Because not only is there no downside, really, we have a blocker the same, but also if they do Marauder us, I still have a blocker. If they have another Marauder, that is. Which they might, you know. A lot of decks play 2 in the main, 2 in the side, something like that. These are basically the same thing now, except for this one is flying, so we'll just sack the Colossus. Beetle starts growing again, and they have a Tragic Slip for the Kill Ship. Tragic Kill Ship. Village Rites. We could lose this one for sure. Swing for 4, and a Link Breaker. Another Colossus is pretty good. So I'll start with an Ancient Stirrings for a Kill Ship. I could just blow up the Beetle. We're taking 3. Or I could play the Colossus, but then if we don't hit anything and they can kill it again, they can get in for a lot. Like if we don't hit a creature, then they can kill this. It's pretty bad. I think we're taking this either way. I kind of think we do. Just go for the kill ship here. Blow this up. And I'm going to cycle the Generous Ent. Might not be the best, because Ent can gain us life. But I think the mana can be useful. This allows us to Maelstrom Colossus plus Candy Trail next turn, for example. Unless they have Stamina and Rite of Consumption, we're not going to die here. Although they could. Bloodthorn Vampire. I guess that plus a Rite of Consumption would also just kill us. Go for a Conviction, Infestation Sage, and a Carrion Feeder. Brambleworm. Colossus obviously gives us more value. Brambleworm keeps us alive better. I can already Colossus plus Candy Trail. I could Brambleworm plus Candy Trail, and we have 13 life, but not as many creatures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can already hit for 12 with the Rite of Consumption. They didn't have it last time, clearly. I think I should try to get more. This could hit like a breath weapon, which would be really good. It could hit another kill ship. It could hit another creature. Monstrous Emergence. Alright, cast without paying its mana cost with additional cost. Reveal a creature card from your hand. Kill the vampire. Do I want to kill the Carrion Feeder? Probably the vampire, because that kills us off the Rite of Consumption. In case they top deck that, yeah. I mean, hitting a removal spell is not a bad draw. And they'd have to sacrifice 4 creatures to keep it alive, so I assume they'll just sacrifice it to the Carrion Feeder, which they do. We will station this guy and pass the turn. And there's a Beetle and a Shambler. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they can put everything into the feeder, make us block. Well, we'll block the feeder here. They have to sack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have to sack like 6 things to keep it alive, so I'm not that upset about them going into one guy. I mean, 2 guys. Both of these get to grow, but that's fine. Also, if I don't block, I would just die, so obviously we're not going to do that. Alright, sacrifice everything but the Marauders, so it's an 8/8, and they'll pass. I'll sack the Candy Trail. Boulder Branch Golem. So let's start with Ancient Stirrings. Another Pinnacle Kill Ship. And this deals 10 damage, right? 10 damage, but it's a 7/7, so this, I can kill one of these 2. Although if I do that, I only have 5 mana left. I'd have to play this as a 3/3, which maybe I should do. Yeah, I mean, we're still just playing the kill ship, I think. I want to do it before these get out of range, and they're right on the cusp. I'm going to blow up the feeder because it's bigger. Like, they could only sacrifice these 2 and make it a 10/10, so they got to just sack it to itself. They have an 8/8. Station here, and then I don't want to have to be forced to chump here, / if they get another Marauder, I would just die, so I am going to cast this with Prototype. We'll gain 3, and we'll have another chump blocker. I guess the Marauder, I could have sacrificed the tapped Colossus, but if they get a Tragic Slip, they have to have a way to kill something. I still don't want to chance it. Snuff Out would kill us, for example. This also just lets us double block the Beetle, which is also pretty good. And I think we will. They could definitely have like a Snuff Out now, and then they get to kill both of these, but I still get to play Brambleworm and have 2 big guys for next turn, so I'm not too worried. Is this one of the Infinity Draw 2 builds, a Black Sack you mentioned in your video today? One of the Infinity Draw 2 builds? I'm trying to think what I said in the video today, because I recorded it like a week ago. Because I might have just been referencing like, oh, you can draw like 8 cards if you play a bunch of like Corrupted Convictions and stuff. It does look like they have a lot more card draw. How some builds go up to 8 rights. Yes, yeah. Yes, it looks to be that way. So, we've seen quite a lot of card draw from them both games. I mean, there's 1 Corrupted Conviction, 1 Village Rites. That's all that we've seen here, but I think previous games we saw a lot more. Oh, that's pretty good. It does seem to be one that has a lot of card draw, which makes it better at going like late game, but of course it makes it less good in the short term, and I've found that generally, in my experience, you want to be really fast with the deck. So there's nothing wrong with this. A lot of people have the preference of more card draw and stuff. I think that the Perigee Beckoner is also like a more late game, better in the late game card because it's more expensive, and people like that, but I generally like the version that can win on turn 3 if you get the perfect draw, and turn 4 or 5 even if you don't. pretty reliably. All right, on the play again, we have just a tower. Candy Trail can hopefully find us something. If we find green mana, we're in a fine spot. If we don't, we're not in a great spot. I think we mulligan this one. Here we have 2 mines, but it is enough lands. I think it's enough lands we can get rid of one of these, actually. Start with a mine in case we get lucky and find the other ones. Candy Trail, there's a tower. We already have some creatures, so I think we'll get rid of that. Boulder Branch. What was that X deck you previously mentioned? I mean, I've seen it as just like mono red axes or red axe aggro or something like that. It's basically a red rally deck. Well, a little sneak peek, I'll be playing that deck tomorrow in the video for mono red for monocolor week. So you'll see a deck list of that tomorrow. But it's more or less a red rally deck that swaps rally and Burning Tree Emissary for Inventor's Axe and like Ginger Brute. And then it swaps the Bushwhackers for like more removal, more burn. Well, like I was saying, I never play Tron. Basically never. But of course, the one time I play Tron, we go up against Ponza. That's fun. Crop Rotation is pretty good against Ponza. Not that I can use it this turn. Yeah, so it's a mono red aggro deck that uses the axe to get a little bit of extra damage, and then Ginger Brute can get unblockable, so you can make a 3/1 unblockable that can hit in every turn, and it can be pretty decent. 5 mana, 7 mana. Just have a Annoyed Altasaur already, or maybe a Nyxborn Hydra. Boarding Party, sure. Into a Nyxborn Hydra. Well, that's not too bad. Boarding Party's pretty good though. I mean, we'll get a Crop Rotation. I could Crop Rotation, not into anything that I could Breath Weapon here. Maybe they go for another Ponza spell and I can rotation that land in response. I mean, it's still, they're going to target the mine, so I have to sack the mine, so I'm not really hitting Tron, probably. Chrysalis. I also can't Breath Weapon. Like, if I could Breath Weapon right now, that'd be great, but I cannot. We'll take 6. I mean, I'm very confident we're going to lose against the deck that blows up lands when we're playing a lands deck, so Repurposer. That is all their cards. Grab a forest. I mean, 5, 11. We're going to die. Like, Breath Weapon doesn't do us any good, so I'm just going to Crop Rotation this Crystal Grotto into a tower. And if we hit one land we need off the top, then I could play a Genercent. That's not it. Candy Trail. Mine is not it either. Relic is not necessary. Map. Alright, way too slow. We're going to die. Tommy is safekeeping. That can keep our guy around. Moment's Peace, or our land around. Moment's Peace. Is Reverent Silence blowing up their things good enough? Probably not. You don't need relics. Breath Weapon can be okay, as we saw. Probably just get rid of the Gryphs. I think Gryph's probably the worst one here. Yeah. Mostly because of its size. Like, obviously drawing the card is really good, but like, I'd rather have a 6/5 that can trade with like any of their stuff as opposed to a 3/4 that can't trade with a lot of it. Mine, Power Plant, Candy Trail. Well, we have no protection, but we do have these guys. I don't know. We do have 2 of our 3 lands and maybe the ability to find a 3rd. We'll lead on the Power Plant because we're going to get rid of both of these. Psychology says, and I think there was like a whole article by someone, maybe Frank Karsten, but maybe somebody else, about how the first land that they lead on is probably the one that they have duplicates of. So if I lead on the mine, then they should probably, if they have land destruction, blow up the second one. And I'm trying to reverse psychology that as best we can. They play a Ridgeline and just pass. Okay, we'll crack a Candy Trail, Breath Weapon, and I guess we're just going to cycle this Genercent for a forest so I can play this Ancient Stirrings. Looking for a tower. We do find the tower. And then we'll pass. Can't have a second land if you kept a 1-lander. Very good point. They repurpose. Okay. So we get Tron for a turn, unless they have something real crazy here. They also didn't hit a land drop of their own. So we get to tower and might as well use all of our mana to Colossus. We can Cascade as well. Oh, come on. I guess we'll gain 2 life. Definitely the downside of siding those cards in. But if we're not bringing this in against Ponza, I don't know what we're bringing it in against. So Just a bit unlucky. The map does mean whatever they blow up, I can just replace. Like, they probably will blow up the tower just because it makes more mana, so, like, I don't know, I think that just makes sense. Yep, there's the Acid Moss. They're gonna attack. What? That seems bad. They really want that spawn, that mana that badly? That's weird to me. Let's play a map. Crack for a tower. And then swing for 7. And then I can play the map. So I can play tower, and I can play the map, or I can crack the map right away, but then I don't know what I want to pull out, because they might blow up one of these. So I almost want to just play it and not crack it right away. Because if I go and search for a tower, and then they blow up the power plant, I don't have it. I think I just pass. Maybe that's weird, but seems right to me. Also with the 7/7, if they just keep blowing up our lands, like, I'm probably fine with that. Arbor Elf, Chrysalis. Crystal Grotto means I can Breath Weapon. Breath Weapon, and then I get to attack. Means we don't play like a Pinnacle Kill Ship this turn, but that's probably fine. I think wiping their mana, making it so that they're still on 4 is pretty good. Don't need a forest. Oh, and they apparently have 6, so they didn't even sack them to grow the Chrysalis, which is a benefit, I suppose. So I want to play a 3/3 Golem. Nah, it's fine. They play a Wild Growth. Repurposer. That's going to keep them alive, because if they just had Chrysalis, I could kill ship it. Don't think there's even a reason to sack the map here still. I could get like another Crystal Grotto, but I don't care about that. And we still have a land drop. Generous set. So this is 6, 7, so this is 7 mana. So we're a couple short still. I can only do 1. I should probably do the kill ship because it flies. So we'll attack here, and then I'll play kill ship blowing up the Chrysalis. They get another spawn. Play this guy. Skadoosh this guy. Play a mine and pass the turn. So if they don't blow up any of our lands or anything and pass, I will crack this map for a tower because that'll allow us to play 2 of these. But thus far it hasn't made a difference, and it's just been nice insurance if they tried to blow up one of them. They have an Altasaur this time for Utopia Sprawl. So Altasaur is going to have to chump the kill ship. This is going to have to chump the Maelstrom Colossus. So we'll sack the map, pull out a tower here, and play Boulder Branch Golem. Gain a bunch of life, play a Generous Ent, station this with the new guys, swing, and then we get to play a Candy Trail as well. Set up our draws. Ancient Stirrings seems good. And then we have 3 lethal attackers and 1 that's just short of lethal at 5 power. I guess if they Altasaur into a Chrysalis, that would keep them alive. But Avenging Hunter's not going to cut it. Oh, actually playing the Arbor Elf does keep them alive, though. Let's start with Ancient Stirrings, see if I find a kill ship to just make this easy. No, we get a Boulder Branch Golem. We'll crack a Candy Trail. Swing with the team. Played against a Ponza, another weak at LGS, and he did 4 Dinosaur, 2 Pirates, 1 each turn, and on only 1 Cascade hit a bad spell. All the other 5 hit good spells. Yeah, that's pretty tough, for sure. Sometimes you just get lucky with that kind of a deck. We'll play another Boulder Branch Golem. 38 life. Alright, we got that game. On the draw, I could do Monster Submergence. I didn't even think about that before. Like, not bad removal in general. Can hit an Arbor Elf if I really need. I don't actually... Like, Breath Weapon hitting a Arbor Elf is really the main thing we want to hit. So actually I think these should probably be swapped for the emergences. I think that was probably a mistake before. Well, we got Natural Tron. Of course, if it gets blown up, that won't be too good, but I don't think we're getting rid of this hand. Playing with Golgari Gardens and with 2 lands, killed almost all threats. I was trying to win with a 1/2 plant, but then the removal spell ended and I lost. Yeah, that is pretty funny to try to win with a 1/2. Like, that's how Gardens goes sometimes, but definitely tough. Arbor Elf, I mean, I can't really stop them from blowing up another mine and another tower. Well, they could blow up a land right here, in which case it's going to be a mine, so I think I should keep the mine. Should I also keep the tower? I kind of think yes. Here's the thing. If they spend their time blowing up our lands, we're getting our lands back and it's not a big deal. If they spend their time making creatures, then they're not blowing up our lands, and I don't care, and I already have a couple creatures to play. So, I mean, obviously, if they do both, blow up our land in the next turn, they can do a Thermokarst and like a 4-drop. That's pretty good. But they blow up our mine, and so I could play a tower, knowing we have another tower on top. Of course, I could play a Forest and Ancient Stirrings, but I want to draw that tower, so I think we just do this. And like now, if they have Avenging Hunter, yeah, we're pretty far behind. It's going to be tough to come back from. Rumble hits Thermokarst, Rumble, Forest. I wish it was a full whiff, but at least all they get is a Forest. Play a Wooded Ridgeline, and they only have 2 cards left in hand, one of which is a Forest. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They could have like an Altasaur next turn. They did not blow up our land when they could have, so I could cycle this Generosent so I don't draw that tower. But I only have these 2 big guys. No, I think I'll keep it. Now I'll play a Power Plant, because if I play a Mine, they're going to want to blow up the mine because they've already blown up one, so it's harder for us to find one. Whereas if they go now, they probably would choose the tower, because tower, they're inherently kind of the same, except tower makes more mana, so they blow up the tower and then it's fine. But they attack with the Arbor Elf, they have nothing. They played a mountain, so we know they still have a Forest in hand. Okay, I would love to hit like a Boulder Branch, something I can play for 7 next turn. Another Power Plant. Well, now we have a duplicate of all of our lands, more or less. So I could play mine, but I actually can't play anything off of this. So let's just Forest. Yeah. And then Ancient Stirrings. Pinnacle Killship. Or a Maelstrom Colossus. I guess the variety for the Killship. Yeah, plus the Flyer could be good in case they get the initiative. Like the Colossus could be more value, but like this could be a 2-for-1 if I get like another Killship, it'd be great. But this could just also be a 2-for-1, so I think it's probably fine. If they're swinging for 1, that's still a good sign. And now I get to start dropping 8 drops. Yeah, Repurposer, totally fine. There's their Forest. Okay. Well, that makes me want to drop a 7-drop and hold up a Safekeeping, but I don't want to use a Killship on these guys, so whatever. If they want to blow up one of these and happen to just hit the mine, which is the right call, so be it. We also get a Generosent. Very nice. Now we're in a very good spot. Even if they get a Boarding Party or an Altasaur, we have attackers, blockers, and we're still at 20 life. Because all they've done is attack us with an Arbor Elf 3 times. And I get to start leaving up Tamiyo's Safekeeping as well. For like our creatures or our lands. We even get a mine. I'm just going to swing. Like if they want a triple block on the Ent, I'll Safekeeping it and eat a Repurposer and an Arbor Elf. And that is what they want to do. And they take 7. Play Crystal Grotto. Sure, we'll keep a Candy Trail. And play a Generosent. And they drew nothing again, it looks like. Play a Candy Trail. Double Colossus. Well, I can keep both on top, but if I play one, I actually just cycle through the next one. That's fine. We'll just cast it, though. Hit a Boulder Branch Golem. We have a bunch of giant creatures. I'm very confident they cannot come back from this, but I guess they're holding on hope. Holding out hope. They take 10 down to 3. We have 5 lethal attackers now, plus a removal spell. And they have an Acid Moss. Look at that. Taking out our power plant. Good for them. We take down that match. Alright, round 3 here. We have turn 3 assisted Tron into some 7-drops. Seems good. We're playing against more Black Sack. This is the 3rd time today. Twice in this league, one in another league, and it warms my heart. Absolutely loving it. Swing for 1. Looks like they might have the old 1-lander. Gonna Village Rights to try to get there. On the 2nd land, I assume. Indeed. And they don't. Bit unfortunate, especially because we're gonna start dropping 7 drops. Black Sack players haunting you. I don't feel like it's haunting at all. I'm comforted by their presence. So I have no problem with it. They play a Link Breaker. We're pulling out a Power Plant. We top deck a Power Plant. We're just going to play a Wretched Griff. I don't really want to use the Pinnacle Killship yet. This block's just the same and draws us a card. But he gets more black sack today than I have in the last month. Yeah, it's... I mean, I played against it more today than I've probably played against it in the last month, like, excluding today. But I'm glad to see it's getting a little more popular. Always fun to see. Next turn, I probably just Wretched Griff crop rotation, maybe. More link breakers. Ooh, Colossus. Well, let's just play a Colossus. Actually, Colossus gets chump blocked. It might be better to just play a Bramble Worm. Yeah, it's more mana efficient for the Colossus, but it just is not a good attacker here. The guy at my LGS plays a variant of that's more zombie-based. Ghoul Caller's Chant, Gem Palm Polluter. Very close to this, pretty fun. Okay. I've definitely seen some Ghoul Caller's Chants, but yeah, the Gem Palm Polluter, you're leaning really heavy into the zombie theme. Of course, Carrion Feeder, Shambling Ghast, Nested Shambler, and a Cursed Marauder are all zombies, so you don't have to go that hard to get a couple more zombies in there, I assume. You take 3, and we're going to play that Bramble Worm. I could cycle the Generous Scent too. It'd be mana efficient, and I already have a lot of other big guys. But I also have a lot of other mana. I don't think I really need to. Alright, they had a rough start, but we take that one down. Get those Monstrous Emergences and Moment's Peace. Got the Relics and the... what did I do before? Like a Breath Weapon, a couple Wretched Griff. Another turn 3 Assisted Tron seems pretty good. Start with a Carrion Feeder. Play a map. Link Breaker and Beetle. Alright, this is pretty scary. They have the ideal start. They can hit for 3 here. And, yeah, 3. It's going to be pretty good. I think that deck command was not right, but I have just updated it, so that should be the one we're using now. Alright, we're going to pass. Crack this map. They didn't actually go all in. So, if I'm playing against a Tron deck, pretty much any Tron deck, but, you know, one that I think doesn't have any interaction, I usually want to go all in as quickly as possible. So, like, I would have sacrificed this 2 to their feeder. Depends a little bit on what their hand looks like, of course, because they could have Village Rights that they want to use for the Mercenary. But generally, I would want to deal as much damage as I could every single turn. Oh, nice. DB account, card market support. Very happy for you. CZ planned, well deserved. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I am trying to move up in the world and continue putting out good content that everyone appreciates. So hopefully that is happening. They do have 4, 5, 6, 7 damage. Mesmeric Fiend. Oh, I guess by not sacrificing the Mercenary last turn, doing it this turn, they actually get the same amount of damage because they can pump. So when it's a Link Breaker, I guess it doesn't matter as much. But okay, so Mesmeric Fiend, they're not going to like kill us this turn. They do get to take something. Luckily, we have 2 7-drops, so they can't take both of them. So yeah, that's fine. They'd probably still take the Boulder Branch Golem because it's a lot bigger, whereas the Wretched Griff is already too small to interact, like to actually trade with their guys. The Colossus is a full turn behind if I get another land naturally. Not to mention the life gain, so Boulder Branch was definitely the right pick there. Attack with everybody. So this is another time, this is a time where they could deal more damage by sacrificing. They could have pumped, sacrificed, and hit for 2 more. But they keep this guy around. Might be worth it. What do we need? A tower. Monstrous Emergence. I could cycle Generous Scent for a forest, play Monstrous Emergence, and kill like the beetle. Then they sacrifice it. They have 4, 5, 6. I think I just play the 7-drop. If it just chumps, that's fine, but it draws us a card. Hopefully we can find like a land that I can go Colossus, another thing next turn. They do have a Shambler. Pump the Shambler. So I have to block if I don't want to die, so I will. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, so 7, 8 damage from either of them. If they have a Tragic Slip, that might be why they would sacrifice pre-combat here. In which case we will die, because they'll just kill the Griff and then attack for lethal. Yep, there's the Tragic Slip. They attack in and we're going to die for sure. Alright, I think we just ship it back, and on the play, I think we're going to have a better time. Yeah, this hand doesn't look too bad. We just need to find a mine, and the Stirrings can help with that. They mulligan to 5. So we're going to lead on a tower. I could lead on the Crystal Grotto. Then we're guaranteeing that we're going to have to wait till turn 4 to get our Tron, whereas here I could like draw exactly what I need. I think we still just play this. I could play the Crystal Grotto now, but again, if I naturally draw the mine, it's much better this way. And then if I don't, next turn I'll play the Crystal Grotto. We'll go for an Ancient Stirrings, and yeah, we'll see where we're at from there. Gixian Infiltrator. Not one I've seen in Black Sack in a very long time. Expedition map does get us there guaranteed. Let's play a Crystal Grotto. Don't really need that. So, yeah, I think we just play the map. I could Stirrings, but there's no guarantee it hits. Map definitely gets us the mine. The next turn I have 8 mana or 7 mana with a green, so I can play either one of these. Mesmeric Fiend with a Village Rites. Okay. Yeah, again, they don't have anything. Yeah, it's not a big deal. Bramblewyrm's probably their best bet, but I still get to have a Boulder Branch, which is still enormous and gains us a bunch of life. Not quite as big. No trample or reach. Doesn't gain us... gains us more life, actually, but initially, not over the whole game. No, they go for the Boulder Branch. Interesting. Swing for 3. And we'll crack the map for a mine. Play that, and we're going to go for a Bramblewyrm. And the next turn I have Ancient Stirrings, which can cast with enough mana to cast even a Maelstrom Colossus. So, feeling pretty good. There's a Beetle and a Feeder, but they're going to pass. We get a Mine. I could whiff on the Ancient Stirrings, or else I could just play a Genercent here, but I think I'm probably going to hit something. Yeah, like an Expedition map. It was a bit of a whiff, for sure. Play that. Crack it for... I mean, we don't really need just more mana, so I think a Crystal Grotto. More colored mana, but also the Scry can be good. Don't need a Power Plant. Attack for 7. They didn't have any fodder last turn, but if they do get any fodder, we're taking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're taking a lot. Oh, I should probably play another Ancient Stirrings, shouldn't I? Yeah, we're just gonna not attack here, I think. But definitely go for another Stirrings, which gets Candy Trail. I'll cast that. And that hits Crop Rotation. A lot of land stuff. Or Monstrous Emergence. I mean, Emergence is pretty good. I think we'll keep that one. Like, Emergence next turn to kill a thing and then play a Genercent. It's pretty decent. No attacks. Let's see. Choose a creature you control or reveal a creature card from your hand. So we will choose this creature. Choose target creature. So do I want to shoot the Carrion Feeder? Probably. It's their sack outlet. Reveal a creature. Chooses Bramblewyrm. Oh, okay. I was like, it didn't ask me to choose a creature, but I guess I only have one creature on the field. So I was worried it like chose nothing, but it did not. Stamina. Sure. Then they get to sack it. It comes back. They grow their guys. Not terrible. I think here I attack and I get to play a Genercent that also blocks really nicely, though. If they want to double block, that's fine. Play a Genercent. We have 1 mana floating, so I don't have enough to crack either of our foods, so we'll just pass. Alright, and they concede. It seems like they had some rough draws. They didn't have any fodder except for the Fiend, so a bit unfortunate for them. Alright, we'll keep this one. And looks like we're against something red, which I think we should be okay against because we have so much life gain in the deck. Start with a Candy Trail. We're looking for a Power Plant. Perfect. We don't have red mana, so I think we get rid of that. I also don't know if Breath Weapon is where we want to be. It could be good if we're against Rally, but it would not be the best if we're against Madness. I mean, it could still kill a Gutter Snipe, but this means we do have a turn 3 Tron. So Boulder Branch starts coming down. That's all good. If they are Madness and they like bin a Snacker with like a Faithless Looting, obviously if they bin it with something else, it'll come back. I might Bojuka Bog, which would take us off our Tron by a turn, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll test today some changes in this deck. I removed the main deck relics and put 2 Chromatic Star in, and removed a green removal. Put another relic, so 3 relics on the side. Yeah, I definitely think you got some of those flex slots. I think relics in the main deck is not a bad idea, depending on your meta. Okay, it is Rally. looks like. Because, you know, if you're always playing against Spy or Terror or whatever, I don't think there's anything wrong with playing the relics in the main deck. But if you find you don't need those, then I think it's totally reasonable to take them out for something more generically good. Experimental Synth hits a mountain. And a rally. Alright. Yeah, Breath Weapon could have been good, but again, we still don't have red mana. Well, there's red mana. At my LGS, I didn't see any spies this year. Okay. Yeah, definitely depends on what you're playing. My LGS has a very good diverse meta, I think. But we definitely have 1 or 2 spy players. We only have 1 real terror player, but he plays terror pretty much every week. And then there's not really any madness. Well, I go to 2 different stores. One of them does play madness. So, you know, we have a very diverse metagame. So, which generally means I wouldn't be main decking anything that, like, is a sideboard card like that. But, well, they bolt the Golem, so I assume they're going to bolt it again. Galvanic Blast it, sure. And Percussionist. I mean, that absorbs 7 damage plus gain to 6. Unfortunately, we're getting all lands here. Play a Crystal Grotto. We don't need a map. Play a Wretched Gryph. Gain a life. Not gain a life. Draw a card. Okay, Generous Ent's good. If we can survive this turn, we don't need a Relic or a Tower. The next turn I can go Generous Ent plus food. We block here. We take 5. So if they get a Bushwhacker, we die. That's about it. Rallies, not death, but it is good. Breath Weapon would be one of our best draws. Crystal Grotto, so we have 7, 8, 9 mana. So if I play this, we can Surveil. Kill Ship doesn't seem like quite what we need. I'm going to crack this. Brambleworm. We're 1 short of the Brambleworm. So I got to just Generous Ent. Alright, so now we die to any 2 damage spell. And if we don't, then we can gain 8 on our turn, but that's hoping we're not dying to something. And my LGS2 sometimes has some slivers, Infect, Poison Storm. Last year there was a lot of spies. Yeah, I gotcha. It's good to have it be switching up like that. Not bad at all. Blood Token, discard a Mountain, then discard a Percussionist because they realize it's 1 short. And let's see if they got their bolt. They're going to attack probably either way. Seeing a lot of Rakdos Madness at my 2 LGS. Naya Gates Crushing. Very nice. Yeah, I'm not someone who's like always intent on, you know, countering the meta, but, you know, if I know that these 3 people are going to be there and they all play these exact decks, like, I got to be honest, the reason that I play, like, the person that I always play against at my LGS is the one who plays Mono Blue Terror, and he gets a little annoyed, understandably, because I almost always play decks that beat Blue Terror in Black Sack, Esper Cryo, White Weenie. Jund is kind of middle of the pack. But the reason is because I play a lot online, and I need to play decks that can compete with those decks because Terror's everywhere online. I should probably play this first. Theoretically, they could have had the bolt and sandbagged it. That would have been foolish, but... Alright, we crack our food. We're back up to 10, and now we get to just coast. I think we'll be okay from here, probably. I mean, I feel like you have to play something that beats Mono Red and Mono Blue pretty consistently. I mean, depending on your meta. Online, I think that's 100% true. But, like, in my LGS, we have... the main LGS I go to, there is not a single red player. And there's only 1 terror player. So... And there's, like, there's a couple other blue-controlled decks or whatever, potentially. But, like, it's no more prevalent. You know, we have more Grixis Affinity. We have more Elves players. So it isn't as important for those. But every time I go to like a bigger tournament, yes, those are the decks that people are bringing out a lot of. A lot of players that I play with change decks every week like me. Yeah, I generally change decks every week, but also if I'm like prepping for a tournament or a bigger tournament, then I sometimes will just play whatever I'm planning to bring over and over and over again. So I definitely like to change it up, but sometimes I play the same thing. All right, Colossus, let's see if it hits a life gainer. Yep, to really slam things shut. And it did. So I'll hit for 12. Might as well leave back a guy. Pass the turn. I mean, if you have an eye towards a bigger tournament. Yes, definitely I agree with that. Any bigger tournament, I'm trying to bring a deck that is prepared for Mono Red and Mono Blue. Which is why I usually bring Black Sack, because it's got a very good Mono Blue matchup, and it's got a decent Mono Red matchup. I could probably pick a deck that's more geared towards those 2 decks. Like, I think White Weenie is probably better. Definitely better against Mono Red than Black Sack is. And only slightly worse against mono blue, I think, and better against mono blue fairies, but worse against mono blue terror than black sack, but only minorly. So like if I was really just trying to target those two decks, White Weenie might be the deck I'd bring. White Weenie's also not bad against Spy and some combo and stuff, but then it's got a lot of, it's okay against a lot of the other mid-range decks and control decks, and has trouble against Gardens and some of those things. Alright, we win that one. What are we playing against? Life Gain's good. Moment's Peace is good. There's actually no life gain in the sideboard, really, because we already have life gain in the main deck. Totally reasonable. Yeah, I mean, those are the only things to bring in. We already have, and we have breath weapons, so we're pretty much set up to beat this opponent already. I think crop rotations can go. We don't need Bojuka Bug and instant speed. Doesn't really matter too much. I guess, yeah, and I'd prefer the creatures. Yeah, let's do that. Definitely want to keep a hand that can either get a quick breath weapon or just start slamming big guys on turn 3. There is a breath weapon and a turn 3 Tron, so we need the red mana for the breath weapon, but we got two things going for us here. Let's see. They're going to have Artifact Hate, so they could just like cast in the fire the map. That wouldn't be the worst thing because it slows them down quite a bit. They could have like land destruction, like raises in the sideboard. If they have that, we're pretty much toast. But if they don't have that and they just go after the artifacts, I can probably worm our way out of it. If they don't kill it right now, then I'm going to be able to crack it. So they're probably weighing their options as to whether they should kill it or not. And they do. Cast it straight into the fire. Ooh, and we get the Crystal Grotto, which could be good for the breath weapon. Let's start with a Candy Trail. Tower, we already have a tower. That's a map. Probably keep the map on top. Play a mine. Still just play another one of these. I think they're only at 4 cards. I'm going to say I don't need another breath weapon. Could end up regretting that, but I'm hoping the one will do well enough. There's an Epicure and a Tomb Raider. Swing for 3. So unfortunately, I don't have breath weapon this turn. Colossus. I could Colossus next turn. Let's keep that. So I'm gonna... Oh, it doesn't matter, I guess, because I'm gonna crack this map. Never mind. Well, we're gonna play the map and crack it, and then next turn I can play a Boulder Branch. Or I could just breath weapon and double Candy Trail. That might actually be better next turn. Reckless Impulse for Burning Tree and Clockwork. Here they're gonna play Clockwork. Swing for 5. Crack the map for a Power Plant. Play Power Plant. So yeah, I have breath weapon plus double Candy Trail. I think we definitely just do that. And obviously I'd love for them to play their Burning Tree and a bunch of creatures pre-combat. We're giving them the option to make that mistake, which looks like they're going to take us up on. Whereas if they had attacked first, I still would just use it. 4 creatures is a lot, and if they play a Burning Tree after, I can just block it with the Boulder Branch later. But you could play map, play Grotto in response to the Scry, get the land with the map, and then Scry. Yeah, I definitely could have. And that might have been the right play. I wanted to leave myself open to the possibility of like cracking a Candy Trail if I was going to die if I didn't. So like if they had like a Bushwhacker or something and the 3 life could keep me alive, I wanted that option. So I did waste the Scry value there with that in mind. But you're right, it's good to keep that in mind as well. Yeah, Galvanic Blast. Well, I'm going to do this in response because they are going to lose their artifact. So they're going to lose 2 damage here. And I'm not really expecting them to play anything else, any other creatures pre-combat. So I'm going to do this so I gain 2 life, essentially. And they exile another Clockwork Percussionist. And we're going to crack a Candy Trail. Crack a Candy Trail up to 13. Expedition map. And let's play a map. Boulder Branch Golem. Now I can hold up another map, crack... plus Tamiya Safekeeping for the Golem. They only have 3 cards and we're at 19. I'm feeling pretty good. Alright, we win the match. 4-0 with this deck. Was not expecting that. But let's see if we can get that trophy. We were 4-0 with Jund earlier today too, and just fell short, but here's hoping. On the play again, we have... Is this good enough? We have 2 of the things we need for Tron. Bunch of big guys, 1 Scry to find it. If we get any land, we also have a breath weapon. I think we keep. We're only looking for 1 thing, which is a power plant. And we have a Crystal Grotto to help look for it. I don't know. Obviously, it's more comfortable if we have a map. obviously a map, but also just like a, I would take one of these being a candy trail instead, but yeah, it's okay. Start with a tower just in case we get that turn 3. I'll miss the last match. Got to go to the LGS now. Good luck with the last one. Thank you very much. Good luck at the LGS. Have a good time. Ooh, and we're against something blue. That's going to make things tough. Delver. Pinnacle Kill Ship. Well, I think I just got to play that in the hopes that we draw the power plant naturally. Flip Delver off a Brainstorm. We don't. Let's Crystal Grotto. Another Wretched Griff. Not what we need. Pass. They go for Brainstorm. Can't even Breath Weapon this guy. Well, if we don't hit that land, we just have a bunch of useless cards in hand, which would be a real bummer. They're going to Thought Scour in their upkeep, discarding, or milling Force Spike and Deep Analysis. Pretty good hits. Pass with Counterspell up. Now we hit an Expedition map. It's definitely getting countered, but what are you going to do? Like, I could hold it, Force Spike. Okay. I mean, Force Spike makes it so I can't use it this turn, which is relevant. And then Spell Pierce, sure. Shouldn't they have Spell Pierced first? Because then I would be fully tapped out. Doesn't matter. Well, I thought for a second maybe it was going to resolve because of the Force Spike just to prevent me from using it, but yeah, and then they get to play some terrors. Ponder. Spike and Pierce. Lame. Yeah, it is a little interesting playing both of them. I mean, it's hard to predict if you're playing both. Alright, if we naturally get it off the top, that'd be pretty cool. But we did not. I guess we have one more turn, because we could still naturally draw the plant. Play a Colossus into a Pinnacle Kill Ship, blow this up, block here. And they'd have to have no counter spells, obviously. Cycle Lorien. We get a Mine. Well, that's a bit unfortunate. So we get... what do we get? More relics. Breath Weapons are bad. Moment's Peace is okay. Monstrous Emergence is okay. Carevex Torch feels like it's probably better against control decks. Like counterspell decks, but specifically control. I don't think we need that for here. Crop Rotation for Bog could be really good, so we want to keep those in. Wretched Griff can block Delver, so I don't really want to take those. Maybe Boulder Branch, because it just trades. We don't need the life as much, and it just trades with terrors. Yeah. We'll give that a try. Alright, we once again have 2 of these lands, but we do have the Candy Trails this time. So we'll give it a try. We're looking for a Mine. Double Tower. Think we will get rid of those. Now, if I don't hit another land for like a couple, 7 draws, I'm going to regret getting rid of both of them, but we have another Candy Trail to hopefully hit some sort of land. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll just crack the Candy Trail here, and the next turn we'll play the other one. They cycle a Lorien, draw a card, game 3. There's a map. Well, I'm going to play a Candy Trail if they counter, like, as bait. And maybe I can resolve a map if they counter this. Or if not, hopefully we can just find some lands. Now I realize because they were playing Force Spike, maybe the first one I lead on should not be the bait, but I don't know. We'll see. Another Candy Trail. We don't need the Wretched Griff. That could get countered. We're going to put these on the bottom. If I go for a map, I'm pretty positive it gets countered, but is there any benefit to not going for the map? Of course, we don't fill their graveyard. I'm going to probably crack the Candy Trail next turn anyway, though. And on the off chance it does resolve, then yeah, there's the Force Spike. Then obviously it would be pretty good. Brainstorm. Crop Rotation. Can't cast that. So we'll crack this. And I guess we did in fact regret getting rid of both of those towers, because we didn't see another land for, well, at least 7 cards. Brainstorm and Thought Scour. They get rid of a Cryptic Serpent and a Terror, so they have way too many of those. They have 5 spells engraved, so I'm expecting them to put down like 3 Terrors here. Either way, the trophy's not looking like it's going to happen, probably. There's 1 Terror, 2 Terrors, sure, and hold up a Counterspell. I mean, the deck worked really well for the first couple matches, but then it just... Obviously, the counterspells stopped us and interacted, I understand that, but, like, I still feel like it just wasn't very good. I could have kept that tower, but, like, the towers wouldn't have even made that much of a difference. Like, we still couldn't have done anything here, so... Unfortunate, but still 4-1's not bad with the deck at all. So, yeah, the deck was okay. I mean, the deck performed pretty well. It's not really my style of deck because... you could kind of call it mid-range because it's like, oh, it just plays a bunch of big guys It doesn't really come online until like turn 3 or 4. And, you know, an aggro deck would start earlier, but like, it doesn't have that much interaction. There's 3 breath weapons and some relics. Everything else is dedicated to the game plan. I usually like a little bit more, you know, a little bit more interaction. Even something like Black Sack, which is obviously turbo aggro, has a little more interaction and stuff. And in general, Tron is not my favorite thing ever. It's much better if I'm not comboing, but it's still like, you know, I have to spend my first 3 turns every single game, which gets very repetitive, finding the exact same 3 cards. So Gates next time, very well might get around to Gates at some point. But in any case, I hope everyone enjoyed watching. That is going to be the end of the stream for me as well. Like I said, I'm going to try not to take quite so long to stream again next time. Maybe next time, maybe sometime later this week, or if not this week, probably next week. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.